Hi there, it's Ranbir Puar. Welcome to my channel. Some of you may be actually listening to this on my podcast. Now I've decided to multitask and put the audio there as well. If you're new to me and the work that I do, I would like to give you a quick rundown. I am a TEDx speaker of a popular speech called Building Strong Children. I am an author, a podcaster, and I've been a life strategies coach since 2009. The focus of my work is helping you learn to like yourself because I think that's the most important journey you can take because it's a journey inward. And then when you can do that, when you can like yourself, then you can truly learn to love yourself. The other thing that I focus on in the work that I do is helping you learn to like your family. I know that you love them. That's a given. But you and I both know that some of the most challenging experiences we have in our life come through the experiences we have with people that we love. So, how do we learn to like? Well, I hope you are ready for today's topic. I'm going to dive in. It's about how to avoid the trap of victim culture. It's big and rampant right now. But before I dive in, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, whether you're on YouTube or listening to the podcast, because then you'll know when new episodes come out and you will be supporting this small business that's trying to make a big difference in the world. So I hope you will do that right now. So today's topic is how to avoid the trap of victim culture. Super important for us adults. And if you're a parent, it is very important because the idea of the victim culture is a very, very big topic right now. Everywhere you look, and the things that you observe, there's an emphasis on the victim story, which we may not have seen in our lifetimes growing up, as adults, because, most of us, when we were going through our younger years, the focus was on toughening it up and getting resilient in ways that helped us just get through. And so there's a really beautiful balance that can be had where we can be honest and true about the feelings we have and build resilience. So the trap that we see now is that everybody feels like they're walking on eggshells. You don't know what you're allowed to say, who you're allowed to say it to, you don't know who you're offending. And all of that means one thing. What do you think it means? If you have some thoughts, you can put them in the comments section. But I will tell you what I think. I think it means drawing people into living a life that is measured externally. When you get stuck in that victim trap, you are living from the outside in. You are relying on the thoughts and expressions of other people to dictate your ship. Like, where is it going? It's the navigation system. And that is not good for you for the long term. So, I talk about this a lot. If you've listened to me on other people's podcasts, if you've followed my work, you know I have a formula. And the formula goes like this: observation plus emotion equals insult. The same formula could say observation plus emotion equals compliment, which is something we see a lot of people needing in the world of the highlights reel, 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 because there's all this external, there's emphasis on external approval, whether it's liking your photo or sharing your photo or all that kind of stuff that happens on the internet. It's a big deal, and it's important for us to have this dialogue right now because we need to put the brakes on this. We need to put the brakes on the trap of the victim story because it is very enticing. We have a negative bias as human beings, so it is a whole lot easier for us to go to that trap. And it is a trap. That's why I keep using the word trap, because it literally sucks the life out of you. How do I know? I lived it. I lived it. I know what it feels like to be married to my victim story. I know what it feels like to lead with that story. And it is not healthy. All it does is say, here, take, by adding my emotion to somebody's observation, I'm basically saying, here, take my energy. I'm saying, here, you use it. Let's see if they can invest your emotions and make change happen. That's not how change happens. Change happens when you change. Change happens when you lead by example. Change happens when you become resilient, because other people will look to you then to help guide them through the transformation. You are not going to change anything by raising that victim flag, by waving it and saying, I can't, I can't. Uh, you know, the way you do that is look at these things and say, that is their reality. That's how they're observing the world. I choose to observe the world in this way. This is what matters to me. This is what's real. This is what can create long lasting change in my life. I've talked about this a few times where, perception is reality. And like I've shared in the past, you could have two people in the same argument, maybe two parents or partners or even siblings, and both will leave the argument feeling a certain way. And that's real for them. So for us to try to tell people what's real or change their perspective on what's real, we're trying to think for them. Is that the right thing to do? Is it right? Did you like, how do we know for sure what we think is right? I think there's a quote by Socrates is, all I know is I know nothing. I don't know how you feel. I don't know the hurdles you've had to overcome to be where you are right now. I don't know. And maybe I have an inkling for some people, or maybe I've heard their story, but at the end of the day, I still don't know all the depth of their emotion and how they feel on the inside. And you don't know the same for me, or the stranger you're fighting with on the internet, or the people you're trying to say are stupid because they don't believe what you believe. What is that? Why do you need to do that? It's not healthy. And it is a victim story, whether you like it or not. When you get caught in the victim trap, you are 100% reliant on other people and their perspective to decide how you feel, to dictate how you feel. So, does that feel like a good choice to give 100% of your power away to somebody else? I don't think so. And like I said, I have been married to the victim story for a good chunk of my life. I was, and it doesn't feel good. You feel every day you wake up feeling like you have to prove your worthiness just to exist. It's a trap, and it's not aligned with your true self. It's not healthy, and it's definitely not a good example for the babies, for the ones you're raising, role modeling for. Not for them. It's not good. You can find so many reasons every single day to feel offended. You know this for sure. All you have to do is go on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you go, and Twitter. You can find so many reasons, and so many people can offend you. And so you can choose to feel offended, or you can choose to understand that each person in a democracy has the right to have their own opinion. That's one thing. Two, nobody, we're not talking hate speech, we're talking opinions, okay? Because I know people are getting all of that muddied up, and it's ridiculous. Like, just everyone's allowed to have their own perspective on what they do with their bodies. And so you see a lot of the preaching and virtue signaling that's going on right now. When you observe that, or if you feel tempted to do that, we need to make sure, or you need to make sure that you check yourself. Because what is it that you're feeling truly that makes you feel like you need to dictate to other people what they're feeling, or what they should do, or what they should think? I have a philosophy on where that comes from. So a lot of the people that get caught in the victim story, right? So they end up feeling victimized. Guess what else they do when they're not feeling victimized? What do you think the counter opposite of that is that they will do and project? Yep, you guessed it. They become the aggressor. So you have this victim aggressor story, cycling, 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 on and on and on. And it is going to exhaust you. And it is something you should be aware of, because it can be changed. That's the cool thing. The the birthplace of this victim aggressor story comes from a low self-image, right? That's where it really comes from. And what is the low self-image? I'll give it to you in a visualization that you can do. If you close your eyes, don't do it if you're driving, is imagine that the foundation of a house, just imagine a foundation of a house and imagine that has a crack in it. Anything you build on top of that cracked foundation will either be severely damaged or completely collapse under, if it faces an earthquake. I'm married to a geotechnical engineer, so I have earthquake analogies that I'm going to use. Um, so if you're living this victim aggressor existence, would you say that maybe perhaps your foundation has a crack? I would think so, because you are drawn to the story of other people. You're drawn to needing them to dictate to you how you should feel or to trigger you to feel victimized. But guess what? Foundations can be repaired. It's the work I've been doing since 2009. I believe that you can heal this pattern and change this pattern and shift this pattern. I've seen it happen. And sometimes in miraculous ways, I've seen it happen since 2009. I absolutely love it. That's why I keep doing this work, because the transformation from victim to victor is huge. It's so huge and it is so worth it. And you become so free. And imagine if you feel free, like really free, so comfortable in your own skin. What would that do for the people in your life? The children, the partners, your parents, your siblings? You could lead by example. You could show people the benefit of rejecting victim culture. You could show people the benefit of aligning with all of you, the struggles, the blessings, all of it, because life is guaranteed to have a lot of ups and downs. And if you're resilient, you will come out of those things stronger, faster, better than you were before. It's very much like going through a workout. When you strain the muscles, they struggle because they are sore, but then they expand and grow and you become stronger, healthier. The same thing goes for your mindset. So that's my ask of you this week. Please pay close attention to victim culture. Observe it. Don't judge it. Just observe how rampant it is at the moment. Observe yourself and your reactions to it. Is it drawing you in? If it draws you in, pause, try to reset, and reach out for help. I offer free 30-minute calls. So if I'm happy to do that for you. If that's all you can manage, you just can need a little boost, call me, set up a meeting. I'll guide you. I also have a ton of free courses or free resources, pardon me, and a few free courses on my online school. Links are below for that. You know how to reach me when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's all listed below. But do this for yourself. And the other thing I can guarantee you, while you try this exercise, whether you're trying it on for size with your family and your children, or whether you're trying it on for size when you surf the internet or scroll your social media feeds, is that you're going to mess up. You're going to get caught in the trap because it's very, very enticing. And when you do, don't beat yourself up, because that's still that continues the victim story. So when you do, just say, I messed up, pick yourself up again and reset and try again the next day. It's the most incredible thing when you allow yourself to make mistakes, because it's healthy, but you learn how to become that sort of flexible human, spiritually, physically, emotionally. And that allows you to have a more fulfilling life. And the more fulfilled you feel as a mother, as a father, as a partner, um, as a sibling, whatever role you have, whatever hats you wear, the more fulfilled you feel, the more light and joy you bring to the people around you. And that's really, really incredible. That's the good stuff about connecting. And there's going to be times when someone is going to hurt your feelings. And I shared this, I believe, last week and many, many times before. And when those things happen, you can say things like, when you speak to me like that, it makes me feel, and describe your feelings. When you can describe how it makes you feel, not they're making you feel, it makes you feel, you are building stronger connections, you are building confidence, you are building resilience, and you are strengthening that foundation of your human spirit, your self image. I'm so grateful you took the time to be here with me today and watch all the way through. I know there's a lot of places you could have been instead of being here with me. So know that I value that. Know that it means a great deal to me. Like I said, I run a small business that's trying to make a big difference in the world by helping you light the path back to you, helping you learn to like who you are, because when you do, everything shifts and changes in your favor. I look forward to seeing you here next week. I hope you have a wonderful day.